Hi, I'm your host Sean Sylvia, and I'm not entirely sure how I got here or where here even is. Just in case I might need to know for tonight, on this episode, let's go over the history of ghost stories. Luckily, I was just talking with Dornsife's ghost culture expert. We started talking about Halloween because it's really tied up in the history of ghost stories in America.
It's our only holiday that really deals with this theme of the dead.
Halloween was originally a Celtic holiday, marking the change of the year from the light half to the dark half.
So the temporal positioning of oneself is a little in flux.
Am I in one half of the year or the other?
There's a temporal uncertainty, and that's what ghosts are, right? They're from the past, but they're here. Ghosts are sort of in two time zones at once.
But where'd the Celts believe these ghosts were coming from?
The idea in the Celtic realm, the sort of the pre-Christian idea, is that there is this other world of the dead that overlaps with our own. So in other words, when you die, you don't go that far away. The dead might be watching you at every moment.
Especially on Halloween.
The idea of putting jack-o'-lanterns out on your front porch, you put them on your front porch to scare the spirits out. You didn't want those spirits walking around to like walk into your house.
Spooky, right? But in order to get all these ghosts walking around, people first need to die. If I went up to you and was like, "Hi friend, let's talk about death," you'd be like, "No, because that's weird and creepy." But why is that? Why is having conversations about death so taboo? Let's ask Diana Blaine, who is Dornsife's death scholar. Now that's metal.
Death was once quite familiar, literally homely. It took place in our homes. It became a profession handled by outsiders. So we began to go into hospitals and disappeared to die. Then the body is handled by morticians. And so we got less and less and less familiar with and comfortable with the hands-on aspects of death itself.
We see death all the time in movies, shows, games, social media videos, but these are controlled, artificial ways to interact with death.
What happens when we suppress the conversation, it has come out in all of these other, I'll call deformed ways.
I'm gonna watch a murder show, I'm gonna watch a murder show.
We definitely want to watch CSI. We want to see those corpses, but we want to see them in a way that's comprehensible and contains the threat, which is what death has become. Death can be solved in an hour.
That othering and compartmentalization of death is not the only way our attitudes have shifted. Technology has changed how people think about ghosts, and the internet has perhaps been the most fundamental change.
Ghost online, haunted servers, text messages from the beyond. And AI is tricky, right? Is AI conscious? Is it really intelligent? You know, or can androids have ghosts? In Japan, which is really way ahead of us on androids, they tend to say yes.
But why do human and android ghosts, according to ghost culture, appear on Earth? In places just like this. Unwanted ghosts, or haunting ghosts, almost always have a specific reason for haunting.
And in general, the reason usually involves some sort of ethical lapse. You tend to find more ethnic minorities as ghosts. Why? Well, because there's been some ethical problems here. Even the classic sort of Gothic story of the haunted house, the Gothic were mansions of the old aristocracy. These things were haunted by all those bad things the aristocracy did when they were in power, right? The literally skeletons in the closet.
That's pretty intense. But there may be a positive side to these tales of horror.
Most often, in most ghost stories I've come across, there is either a resolution or a possibility for a resolution. Now, I find that sort of very optimistic, because what it tends to suggest is, even if we are haunted by our ethical transgressions in the past, you can, if you listen to the ghost, you can atone for it. And the way out of this is to make what was wrong right.
Well, that's a nice, hopeful... Wait, hold on. Why are you haunting me? Actually, dude, I'm a friendly ghost, and this is just USC's campus. You're safe. Oh, I just wanted to tell you that you can learn more about me and my ghost friends. Thompson actually teaches courses on ghost stories and folklore. Diana Blaine also teaches a number of spicy courses about death in the Gender and Sexuality Studies department. And with that, my mission on Earth has been fulfilled. Dude, have a nice afterlife. Thanks, Ghost. And thank you for watching Door to Dornsife.